to be fair to the GST and the ministers who are all in the council, the work on rationalizing and simplifying GST rates had already commenced. In fact, it had commenced nearly 3 years ago. Then the scope was widened. Then newer ministers came in after some states went through election and they had different ministers join in. And now the work is almost complete. Even before the last GST meet in Rajasthan, quite an extensive work was already completed. I had actually spoken to the ministers, say, I need to have a bit more in-depth looking at it, because whilst reducing the items or reducing the rate of items which are in common man's list every day for everyday consumption, for me it was also important that we don't lose an opportunity that we can even bring down the number of rates, which was also the original intent, that we wanted fewer rates and lower rates. So work has got to happen on that, and I hope the GST Council will decide on it sooner.
Are you confident that you're close to some kind of consensus in the GST Council, and what are the key reforms? Because if you ask people sitting here, there's a sense that we pay too much tax, indirect taxes through GST, and this has gone overboard. So what's your message to those watching?
No, it's not gone overboard, Rahul. I keep giving the data to you. Every item has been scrutinized by the GST Council. You may not hear the state finance ministers coming to the media to speak in favor of, on behalf of GST Council. But that doesn't mean that there is a discordant note. Consensus prevails on every decision in the GST Council. With that said, data is released of how, even if on an average, if an item under the GST, goods or service, is taxed as at, let us say, 15.23%, you will still be lesser than the pre-GST and revenue neutral. You wouldn't be earning more than what you earned before, nor would you be charging more than what you charged before the GST was introduced. I could still be at 15. But what is it today? On an average across the board, goods and service, 11.23. What does it simply mean? That goods and services are taxed lesser than what they can be ideally. Where is 15.23 and where is 11 point something? That's the rate at which GST is taxing items. And every now and then I put a list of items which are used by common man on an everyday basis to say how they have become less expensive. At least the rates are less expensive, or rates are lesser than what they were prior to GST. So this word of mouth game which goes about GST, oh GST has become, oh GST, no. GST has actually reduced the rate of goods much better than what it was before the introduction of GST. And I actually challenge, even if there is one item where it has become more expensive than pre-GST, not one has become.